Hello everybody, Ron the Red Dragon here, and welcome to another edition of The Dragon's Den. Today, I have, I guess you could say a theory, but it's also a thought, and I've noticed that it's been happening to not just like my mom, but like before she passed away, but I've noticed it was like a bunch of people that this has happened with. So I'm just going to go out there and say it. I have a really deep feeling that the hospitals are part of the Illuminati. Not this fake Illuminati bullshit with the reptiles and shape-shifting, all that bullshit, but I'm talking about the elite Illuminati. And I'm going to go into details with this one, and why I feel that it's a part of the elite. And that is, number one, every single time, if you're younger, because like I'm 28. If you're younger and you go to the hospital, they'll take care of you and whatever, and you know, if you get into a bad injury or you're losing fluids or something, you'll stay in the hospital longer to recuperate, and then they'll send you home. I feel like deep in my heart that once you hit a certain age, I don't know what age, but if you hit a certain age, they will slowly stop taking care of you. They won't show it. But, okay, like, let's just say this. Let's just bring in my mom, for instance, on this issue. I've talked about this with friends and family, and I think it needs to be out there. Maybe something can happen to make these hospitals better, or maybe if it gets out there, maybe people will start to realize this and think and look more into it to fix this problem, because I believe it's a problem. Before my mom passed away, she was going to the hospital because she was disabled, and we would have to help her from the bed to a potty chair. And she would, like, sometimes lose her balance on the way there and fall. And, you know, go to the hospital to get x-rays because of her head, or maybe her leg or her back is in pain. So she wants to find out if a CAT scan or an x-ray would show any possibility if she's injured. One time, she was in there for, I think, 3 days, maybe 4, because they realized that her white blood count was high, and they wanted to try to lower it down. So, you know, they put her on an infection somewhere. So they put her on medication, antibiotics, and, you know, kept her in the hospital for a few days and sent her home with some antibiotics. But then it went to being like 4 days to, like, say the second trip to the hospital, when she was actually starting to get sicker, it would drop down to like 3 days. We didn't think of anything like of why it dropped. We just had no idea. And then, you know, a few months pass, maybe a year or whatever, she goes to the hospital again with the same problem, and it ends up dropping to 2 days. Again, we're not looking into it like that. We're just like, okay, it's nothing, you know. She's just She's getting healthier earlier. That's good. But with only 2 days of watered antibiotics, she would come home, and like 4 days later, she'd end up right back in the hospital again with the same problem. She'll stay a couple of days, come home, and it'll just keep repeating. Then it dropped down to not even 24 hours. She went to the hospital, they sent her home, like that same day. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Like, I mean, I don't want my mom to go to the hospital, but at the same time, I want her healthy, I'm a kid, or not a kid, but I'm her kid, wondering why she's not getting treated. And then one day she was having so much trouble breathing. Inhaler wasn't working, and her oxygen wasn't working. She was also on oxygen. Her oxygen wasn't working. Nothing was working. So we, called the ambulance, and they sent her to the hospital again. The motherfucking ambulance had the nerve to say, well, if you guys can't take care of her, why don't you put her in a nursing home? I'm like, motherfucker, really? I've seen these nursing homes. I've been to a nursing home when I was in school visiting. These people don't get taken care of at all. Not one fucking bit. Do you really think I'm going to put my mother, that I love, in a nursing home so they can mistreat her and kill her? No, fuck you. I can take care of her. It's the problem is the hospital ain't doing their job. Something's not working. So, then one of them had the audacity to say to us, we can't just keep coming out here. Yeah, you can. It's your damn job to keep coming out here if she needs to go to the hospital for not breathing. I swear, I don't like people like that. They think that they know what's best when they don't. Okay. So then we go on to this one accident that happened. The same accident, I should say. She went to the hospital. She stayed 2 days. On the third day, we were calling and talking, checking up on her and everything. She talked on the phone, and she seemed alright, but she seemed like she was out of breath. Kind of, like nothing was helping. And she said, I'm coming home. And she asked this weird-ass question, like, is it okay? I'm like, of course it's okay. What the hell are you talking about? Of course we want you home. So they brought her home, and she was worse. How can you go to the hospital and come back worse? She was having a panic attack. She was having an anxiety attack. She was not breathing. She was flipping the fuck out. And then to find out, when she came to the door, she was like, where's this bitch at? Where's this bitch at? Where is she? And we're like, what are you talking about, Mom? There's a bitch here. There's a woman here, and she's trying to take you guys away from me or some shit. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? To find out, one of the nurses there told my mom that we had a woman here that was replacing her. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Who the fuck told you this? And she's like, some bitch. I said, Mom, it's not true. You need to calm down, okay? I love you. Why the fuck would I want to replace you? 2, who's this bitch? I want to know. She couldn't get a name. And I called up there. I'm like, I was pissed. I was straight pissed. I'm like, okay, who's the motherfucker that worked the night shift? They're like, don't give me no language. No, motherfucker. You tell me the truth. I don't give a shit. If I'm cussing, it's recording. I don't care. You can send it to the cops or whatever. I'm not threatening you. I want to know right the fuck now who was working that night or this morning. And they said, well, there was a couple nurses. I said, well, give me the females' names so I can write them down and so I could talk to the head person, because they flat out lied to my mom about something, and I want to find out who it was, and I want to know now. They're like, well, sir, we can't give out no names. I'm like, okay, well, fine. Then I'm going to call up there to your head supervisor. I'm going to find out who was working from her, and she'll find out what happened, and one of the two nurses is going to get fired. I guarantee it. I want to find out. CL couldn't find out who it was because nobody, stepped forward. Of course they didn't. They're telling a bunch of stories that can't step forward. That's kind of logic right there, hiding some bullshit. And they just, swept it under the table like, well, there's nothing we can do about that. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Next time my mom needs to go to the hospital, we're going to transfer her to another hospital. And I don't give a fuck. I'm going to name out names right here, right now. Hospital with CMH that was doing this. And the better hospital that I wanted to send her to was Cox South, because when she went there 5 years ago, when she pretty much died and then came back alive, she was going through like this whole breathing problem. She had the worst asthma attack ever. And Cox Health actually helped her. They rehabbed with her. They got her better. She lost a shit ton of weight, where she was literally walking again. I was like, oh my god, this is a good hospital. So I wanted to send her to that hospital. And of course, my mom's still having these problems, but again, this is the bad thing. Me and my stepdad nowhere know shit about doctoring at all. We didn't get a nursing degree. We didn't get a fucking medicine degree. We know nothing. But we got her better somehow. She was able to stop freaking out. She was able to breathe. What's wrong with that picture? So then, and I feel like the ambulance crew was on this as well. The next time we had to take her to the hospital again, me and my stepdad, we suggested to go to Cox South. They're like, oh, it's too far of a drive, and her medical is only allowed to go to the closest hospital possible. I'm like, you're shitting me, right? I'm like, wow. So you're telling me that we're fucked. We have to deal with this shitty ass hospital. No, it's not shitty. No, it's shit. It's pure fucking shit. It's cancer. This hospital shouldn't even be fucking around. Oh, well, there's nothing we could do about it, but you could go to the other closest hospital. I'm like, okay, well, take her there. She stayed 32 hours and came back home. I'm like, another short visit. She's like, yeah, but I think they fixed the problem. And she seemed fine. But then one day, and this is what made no sense to me at all, she was fine for 3 days. She had this nursing service, and I can't think of the name for this other thing that she had, but it was something to do with a doctor, inside doctor, that would come over to your house and check on her for her. And, you know, help out a little bit, which was really good. I like that service. But she was fine for 3 days. She was talking. I mean, she was kind of, you know, seeing stuff. Like Alzheimer's, but it wasn't Alzheimer's, which is weird. Everybody was like, oh, she's getting to the first stage of Alzheimer's and stuff. I'm like, I didn't believe it. I'm like, no, there's no way. She's not that old. And after the 3 days of her being fine and whatever, I went to sleep. I stayed up like really early in the morning. Like, I mean, right now it's 7 a.m., but I think I stayed up till like 10. And she leaned up, she called me, I gave her a drink of water, and she went right back to sleep. And I'm like, okay, she's fine. I'm gonna go to sleep. I need some rest. I uploaded a video to YouTube. I played a few games. I'm good. I need to get some sleep. So I did. I slept for like 4.5 hours. I got woken up by Mike. I'm like, my stepdad. His name's Mike. He woke me up. I was like, what's wrong? Like, immediately. And he goes, we got some bad news. And the doctor's here to talk to you about it. I'm like, oh my fucking God, no. Please, no. I know something's wrong. My heart's fucking beating out of my chest. I'm lightheaded. Usually when I get lightheaded, something goes wrong. So I'm like, okay, I'm coming. So I got dressed and I immediately walked in. I'm like, okay, so what's going on? And doctor pretty much plain out stated my mom was in a coma. I'm like, what? She was fine this morning. Literally 4 hours ago. I don't know what happened. I didn't think it was this bad. I'm like, what isn't this bad? No one's telling me jack shit. What the fuck's going on? And he goes, she has a really bad bladder infection. That's why she's seeing things. That's why the antibiotics, prescription antibiotics ain't working. This bladder infection was not cured at the beginning. And I'm like, first I was upset. And then I got pissed. Because I know that this could have been stopped earlier. And she would have been alive still today. But the hospital didn't do a damn thing about it. And that's what pisses me off. And so the doctor says, so what do you want to do? And I'm thinking, what's my options? What the fuck can I do? You know? And they said, you got two options. One, you can wait it out, and I'll come back in 2 days when I get off my shift, and we'll put her on antibiotics if you want. IV antibiotics. And hopefully it will flush through. Or two, we just see how long it goes. And I'm like, and he just looks at me and goes, well, I know you don't want to put her on the machine. And I said, no, I don't, because my mom told me that if she's close to dying, Do not put her on the machine because she doesn't want to sit there her whole life as a fucking potato. A vegetable. You know, someone that's dead to the world, but... Or dead inside, but for normal people, it looks like they're still alive because they're breathing and, you know, all that shit. And I said, let's try waiting 2 days. I mean, I took an hour to answer, but I'm like, because I was confused. I had no idea what to do. I honestly didn't. So I'm like, let's just try the 2 days. And we'll see, I guess, what happens. I mean, I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. And he said, okay, well, we'll check in those 2 days. We'll call and make sure everything's alright in Meanhand. Also, I'm going to call up a nurse that's going to stay overnight with you guys for the next 2 days. And she's just there to watch over your mother. I said, okay, that's fine. Because, you know, I myself had no idea what to do. So, when he left, I think it was like 6 hours, she showed up. And she's like, well, I'm here to stay with you guys for a couple of days, if that's alright. And I said, yes. I mean, I know, you probably know what's best. I mean, if she goes through anything, whatever. Oh my god, it's so hard to talk about. And prior to the time, I got in a fight with my mom. And I said something I shouldn't have. And I felt really bad about it. So while the nurse was here, you know, I didn't give a fuck. I went over there, I grabbed my mom's hand. I hugged her. And I said, Mom, I'm sorry for what I said. I did not mean it. It was out of anger. I was stupid for saying it. But I want you to be here with us. I really do. But if you don't think you can make it, I don't want you to suffer anymore. So, I just wanted to apologize to you. She lasted a couple of days. And in the morning when the doctor was supposed to show up, I think it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, she went. And, you know, ever since then, I mean, it's only been 5-6 months now. I mean, at one point, I'm upset. And I'm pissed because of the hospitals not doing shit when they could have stopped it at the beginning. But to another point, I'm happy because my mom's not here suffering anymore. And I think she would want me to be happy that she's not suffering anymore. But you know how hard that is? I just think that all hospitals are like this just because of my incident. And there might not be. I mean, Cox South was a really good hospital. But maybe it's like these rinky-dink, you know, they think they're rich and they're hotshot hospitals like CMH, that they can buy all these, you know, little bitty businesses and not give a shit about anybody else. But I feel in my heart that some hospitals like Cox South are out there to help people and make them better. But then I believe that there's other hospitals like CMH that just don't give a shit. And they have like a chart right there for a limit of age. If you hit the age, like say 50, they slowly start giving a shit. They think that, you know, if you're young, we need to save your life because you have more to the world to give. Well, if you're old, I mean, your purpose is not worthy or something. I don't know. I don't have these mind thoughts about. I don't have this mindset what they do. I have no idea what they do. But I know I'm not the only one that has this. My friend Mert, he's in most of my videos. He says shit's been happening over there as well. Like some hospitals just don't give a shit. And he's in the Netherlands. So, you know, like I said, tell me your thoughts. Am I just a crazy person for thinking that maybe there's some hospitals out there that actually have a time limit of your life and slowly trying to kill you off? Or do you also feel like that's also the same thing that could possibly be real? Like, it's actually a thing. I mean, that's 2 hospitals that I've named off. Well, one of them CMH, the other one I guess I don't know the name of it. I can't think of it. I think it's Golden Valley or some shit. But both of those hospitals just seem like they don't care. Like, once you hit a certain age, it's like, yeah, fuck you, you know. We don't care. Just die. Get it over with. But, anyways, comment below. Like, dislike the video. I really honestly don't care. I want people to see this video as just something that they can, you know, put in their hearts and say, you know, this happened to me as well. And I kind of feel the same way he does. Or that they kind of believe this is actually true. But anyways, like I said, like, dislike, comment. Give me your feedback. But anyways, peace.
Something alive? Yeah. I mean, flies, spiders, bugs. Those are alive.
Oh. Doesn't surprise you one bit, does it?
No. I mean,
it's true.
I mean, this is the person that dated Justin Bieber, so, you know.
This is...
Well, the old Justin Bieber, to be exact.
Odd had a grand vision. An open, invitational, tag team, hashtag, apocalypto match, at hashtag,
Apocalypto.
non-stop deletion. Not even I know what the hell that is.
Apocalypto, I don't know what that is.
Let's see, it says, all tag teams are invited, even the WWE World Tag Team Champions, The New Day.
The New Day? You mean more like the Beauty and the Man Beast?
No, not them.
Come on. The Beauty and the Man Beast.
Beauty and the Man Bar.
Well, it says here.
Beauty and the Man Beast. TNA does not know their champions. Come on. Or whatever, Impact Wrestling, I mean. Whatever the fuck it is that I don't give a shit about. Does not know that the Man Beast and the Beauty and the Man Beast are tag team champions. Somebody get me a gun. How dare they disgrace the beauty and the man beast?
Actually, they should just have Xavier Woods and Rhino appear.
You know what? No.
Because they've been in TNA.
You know what? No.
Okay.
It's Heath Slater and Rhino. Come on, Heath Slater is Rhino's favorite superhero. Come on, man.